player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the backs. It gets no Buckner. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait. All the baby is out of the field. He's going to go into the end zone. Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on!
Yeah, game on.
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday to all of you. It is 6:04. That means 6 o'clock start time here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Game On, joining you every single Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, your host, Josh Silverberg, my co-host, Mr. Eric Bowe, and on the board, Mr. Speedy Petey himself. 631-672-3108 is the number to call. You go check us out on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, all smart speakers, Apple Podcasts, worldwidesportsradio.com, and so much more. Eric, how you doing, my friend? Happy March Madness and happy first day of spring.
Happy both of those to you too. And I don't know, Josh. I don't know if it's good luck or bad luck that I just had walking in before the show here. I don't know.
Luck,
You're going to have to tell me. Some say it might be good luck. Some might say it might be bad luck. But let me tell you the story.
Does it involve a pigeon?
It wasn't a pigeon, I don't think. But a bird.
Okay, because that happened to me at Melissa's college graduation.
It was a bird nonetheless. I got home. Went to go get the bags out of the car, and I feel a little something drop down on my neck, shoulder blade area.
That's disgusting.
I was hoping
So gross.
it was like a raindrop or something, Joshua.
That's disgusting.
It was not. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. You know, that's a fun way to start the. Yeah.
Well, I will say this. I mean, really, you know, it happened at Melissa's college graduation. I was sitting there and I got pooped on by a pigeon. So that was fun and everything. Hey, but guess what? Good news. We're going to be having a family rendezvous vacation together in June.
Whoa! Hey now.
How about that?
Hey now.
How about that?
Man.
Yes. The families, the Silverbergs and the Bows are going to be going away together for a week. How about that?
Oh yeah.
Look at Eric's face. He's like, I don't know if I should be excited about it or if I should be like,
I'm just trying to think. Can I handle spending that much time with you and be okay still? You know, that's the part I'm debating.
Well, I mean, you know, the nice thing is, you know, because, you know, the beauty is, you know, at Busch Gardens, you know, they have all the different countries. So they have a bunch of beer gardens there. And they give me a couple of brewskis here or there, and then it'll be good to go.
All right,
good.
maybe it might work. Let's see. Oh, man.
All I know is that the kids wanted to share a room together.
I just hope the birds are flying elsewhere. Because, yeah, no.
That didn't hit. Speedy, did that joke hit? I don't think that joke hit, really.
I'm just saying because you know what? Once is enough for that to happen.
That joke hit about as bad as Clemson's performance today.
And how bad was it, Josh?
Well, it's funny. They were losing. Speedy watched the game from start to finish. They were losing to McNeese State, and we'll start there with March Madness, of course, and we'll get to our Final Fours. And I actually was able to pull up my bracket.
Did you pick Clemson?
To lose in the next round.
Same. All right. So
yeah, Speedy did not. Speedy, what did you have them at?
I had them in the Sweet 16, losing to my eventual Final Four in that region,
which we will get to in due time. But it really, I find this time of the year, and I would say October are the best sports months. This time of the year, because you have baseball season starting, you have March Madness, you have the NHL and the NBA winding down to get to the postseason, you have the NFL draft coming up, and then in October, baseball playoffs, college football, the NFL is in gear, NHL and NBA are starting up. I think those are the two best. Would you agree, Speedy? Those are probably the two best.
October is easily the best one. Like
this is close, though.
This is not far behind.
Yeah, this is close, and we've needed this because we haven't anything gigantic to talk about since the Super Bowl, and that game sucked. So let's be realistic with ourselves here. We need something. But by the way, shout out to my Badgers. Nice 19-point win today. A little hairy in the beginning, but that's okay. Listen, when you score 85 points.
You have them, Josh. Let's see. How far do you have them going?
Elite 8.
Break the ice already now, right, Speedy?
Elite 8. Elite 8. Elite 8.
Eric, it could have been worse.
But that's fair. What's wrong with that?
Isn't this the same guy, Speedy, who was like, oh, they can't do anything in the tournament. They're going to lose first.
Well, Eric, just imagine if they lost. We would have spent the whole first hour venting about the Badgers.
Oh, it would have, yeah. Probably. I mean, it was really, I look at it as go and just quickly because Speedy and I were texting each other during the Big Ten final. And Speedy was like, I can't believe how confident you are in this team. And I said, this is the most confident I've been in this team probably since 2020, where they were the hottest team in the country. They bum rushed the Big Ten tournament. Mm-hmm. They had a huge winning streak going in. People were picking them to win the championship that year. And then COVID happened. And then the tournament didn't happen. And then to add on to it, ESPN decided to have a simulator. And then Wisconsin wound up winning the freaking simulator to win the national championship. And that upset me even more.
Yeah, that would have been the kiss of death, probably.
That to me, however, they had a great Big Ten showing, I thought. Speedy was kind of getting analytical with his answers in regards to, they're not hitting their shots. This is that. They're not dropping for them today, blah, blah, blah. And I said, Speedy, you're missing the one big part of why this is happening. Michigan only played 3 games. They had the bye, which was the killer that Wisconsin lost that game to Penn State at home because they would have had the bye. Wisconsin had to play 4 games in 4 days. That was the killer. I mean, you saw Tanjay. He couldn't even lift his legs at that point to even shoot the ball. They were dead at that point.
I also told you that Michigan was not as good as those teams anyway.
They're not. Wisconsin is better than Michigan. We know this. Am I right or wrong?
I'm not as high on. I'm not high on Michigan.
They were. I mean, Wisconsin had seriously. They shot what I think it was. They were what I think 3rd or 4th most efficient offensive team in the country this year.
Yeah, their offensive efficiency was unheard of for Michigan, for Wisconsin standards.
They were top 10 in the country.
Yeah,
and they shot the first half. I think it was like 24% they shot from the field and like 16% from 3. It was like their worst half of the season because they were exhausted. They couldn't. The funny thing was Michigan wasn't taking advantage of it. Wisconsin was still leading at the half, but I kept saying to myself, the longer this game, and every time I thought Wisconsin would break through, they're up by 5, they're up by 6, they're up by 5. They could not break through to get over the hump, and they were just like Blackwell and Tanjay and Winter. They were exhausted at the end. They put so much into the Michigan State game. They dismantled UCLA. They beat up Northwestern. But again, when you get to that's why that bye in the first round helps a team like Michigan out. They only had to play the 2 games in 2 days, that was their third game. Wisconsin had to play the extra game. That was the killer. That's why that home loss to Penn State was going to give them a bye if they won that game, and they lost by 11 on Senior Day, which was out of control, ridiculous that they lost that game, and that killed them in the final. And they didn't. I don't think they even scored for the last 4 minutes of the game. It was their worst offensive portion I've seen in a game by them, and that includes them losing rough games probably all season where they just could not hit a shot. Like Amos couldn't hit it. Amos is one of their best 3-point shooters. He couldn't hit a shot. Everything was already just bricks. Like Steve Crowell, like Crowell was just was exhausted. It was ugly. But they won today. They won by 19 over Montana, yep. So they beat Montana by 19. It's going to be interesting on Saturday because they have the game. It's in Colorado, and they're playing BYU, which is almost like a home game for BYU. So it's going to be fascinating. But listen,
you know what I just realized, Josh? You have them losing. You said in the Elite Eight. I can't say anything because I picked them to lose in the Elite Eight as well.
No, I mean, what I want.
That just took away everything I wanted to say.
I'm sorry. Well,
at the same time, I didn't say that they're going to have like a first round exit like some other.
And again, that portion of the bracket, that's Duke's side of the bracket. Now, listen, we're all going to wait and see what Flag does tomorrow, right? I don't think he's going to play more than 9 or 10 minutes. He's not going to break a sweat. They're going to run. They should run circles around Mount St. Mary's tomorrow. I would imagine Shire will play him no more than 10 minutes. Just to, like I said, give him a sweat. See how the ankle is. It's as the tournament continues, how is his ankle going to be? Because the next matchup, and I have Baylor winning the next matchup over Mississippi State. Baylor's going to be tough defensively on them. Okay? Then, you go after Baylor, you're getting into the Arizona, Oregon side. And then
Oregon would be interesting.
Yeah, and then after that, then you get Wisconsin. And Wisconsin it's like no offense I've ever seen from Wisconsin. It's only a pop and shot 3 team now with Blackwell and Amos and Winter. And the thing about Wisconsin is they have size.
Right.
They have big size. And they're missing, I believe, what's his name too? He's out with the show with
Jari or Bowner,
who's like their best defensive player, and he's one of their best players. He's out for the tournament. I want to see how this ankle is for Flag, though, going forward. I was not confident picking Duke on this side. I'm going to be upfront. And it's not because I hate Duke, because I can't stand Duke. We know this. We all know this. I hate them.
Didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. But my thought process is how good is Flag going to be? Now, listen, they won the ACC tournament. We saw today Louisville losing to Creighton. ACC is just not that good. They're not that good. UNC proved it perfectly. Without Duke's 2 best players, they still lost. And I get they won the playing game. Congratulations to UNC. Fantastic. West Virginia got completely hosed, by the way. One of the most.
So did Boise, I think.
Yeah. Oh, no. West Virginia, Speedy.
No. I'm saying both of them. North Carolina and Xavier, I don't think should have gotten it.
Xavier won, though.
I know.
But let's look at the quad 1 wins about how many West Virginia had.
I know.
Mischaracter of justice. And it's the fact that the athletic director is on the committee for this selection, and he had to walk out of the room when they had to talk about the North Carolina thing. That to me is ringing bells of something going on here. But point being is this: I want to see how Flag is throughout this tournament. He's good, like I said. They should not need him for that much tomorrow against St. Mary's. They should breeze by them. It's after this round is when it's going to get interesting.
But that's
then you're really going to start to need the guys. And they got Alabama in this bracket. They have Wisconsin in this bracket.
Oregon or Arizona.
Oregon, Arizona. It's a tough bracket for this. It's a tough bracket for this side. And remember, they're not the number 1 overall team. Auburn is,
Right.
But it's a tough bracket for them. It is. Now I believe they get are they in Raleigh for these games?
Let's see.
My producer, are they in Raleigh for these games, Speedy? They should be, right?
Schedule.
Probably.
I would think they are. Because if they're in Raleigh, that's going to help.
PNC Arena. Yep, that's
Yeah, so
Raleigh.
that helps.
That's Raleigh.
That helps. I'll help them.
So yeah, for first 2 rounds, yeah, you're basically.
Yeah, so these first 2 rounds, and then after that, you're on your own. I think it's it. Oh, no, because it's going to be in Newark, isn't it? The East region.
Schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it should be.
They're in Newark.
Chase Center, they're in San Francisco.
Oh, forget it. I'm not going. If it was in Newark, I'd be like, let's rock and roll. Dude, Wisconsin, who wants to go? I know who. Eric would say he's working. Eric would say he's working, so he can't go.
I would say let's roll.
Yeah, I tell you, no, Mr. Marks would say let's rock and roll. I would love for Wisconsin to beat Duke, and I'm sitting right next to Errol when it happens. That'd be amazing. Like, I think Speedy actually.
Oh, wait, that'd be Elite 8.
Speedy would never be outspoken, but Speedy would be like, you need to post this on TikTok or Snapchat or whatever during this game. I'd be I'd just be like, dude, the hell's going on with you? John, he's gonna go the whole time. I was going, John Shire's the problem.
Wait, there is a Prudential Center one, so maybe there's hope.
Wait. Is that side of the bracket though? What side is it? The East bracket? Or...
Oh, this is just a stop hub. Okay.
No. What side of the bracket? Are they the East side? Or are they
Who?
Duke?
They're on the East side. Yes.
So it'd be Newark then.
Oh, you ran out of shot.
Have you ever seen Josh talk this well about a Wisconsin team in the past, 2 years?
No, there's no fun. No, because I didn't even like
how all of a sudden they
I didn't like
Josh coming out of the woodwork saying
because I didn't like how they started at the beginning of the day today. They were sloppy in the first half. They turned it over, I think 7 or 8 times in the first half, and they only averaged, I think, 6 turnovers a game. They turned it over 8 times against Montana. I didn't like how they played at the beginning today.
Yes, it is the East bracket. So.
Oh my god, and it's Newark. Yeah,
it looks like Prudential Center.
Oh crap
for the Elite 8. So.
I'm not
Wisconsin or Duke actually.
I'm not paying $1,000.
Do for your
That's still not happening. I'd love to.
Here comes Alabama. Here comes Oregon to spoil it.
No! Oh, if it's Alabama, I'm going to be furious. Forget that team. Stick to football. Tuscaloosa. All right.
Josh, I think we should talk about the 1 seeds. Now. Who's most likely not to advance to say a Final Four? Right. Let's take a look at Auburn, right? The overall number 1.
Oh, I don't like Auburn to do it.
They had Alabama State. They're going to have Creighton next. They could have Michigan or Texas A&M or whoever else. But then it gets tricky because then after Michigan, they could play Iowa State, right? Then they got the Johnnies.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The one team that I feel confident about that could get there, I didn't pick them to go there, is Houston because they're in such an easy bracket. They got the bracket.
Florida?
I mean, they literally got Kentucky, Purdue. Georgia's going to lose to Gonzaga, we don't know what they are.
They got to watch McNeese State, though. McNeese.
Oh, stop it. They won 1 game. What would you stop it?
That does sound like a team Purdue.
That's how it starts.
Oh, is that who Purdue's playing next?
Yep.
Oh, they're so losing to them. It's not, Matt Hater's not going to be able to handle that. Oh, forget it. Chalk that one up, Speedy.
McNeese, 1 weekend of glory.
Yeah.
All right, so Josh, out of all 4 number 1 seeds, so we have Auburn, Duke, Florida, and Houston. You think Houston has the best chance to advance the furthest?
They're in the easiest bracket. And I'm not even and Speedy knows this. I don't like Calvin Sampson teams because they never play offense. They really don't.
They're like a middle half of the league.
They don't. That's what they are every year.
Yeah, they're not Virginia level bad.
Wow, listen. Listen, can we? Oh God, can we be nice to Tony Bennett, please? Former Wisconsin legend, assistant coach. Be nice.
The one you want.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, at least Tony admitted he can't handle the way the recruiting is anymore. He was honest about it.
Oh, recruiting offensive players.
He has a national championship to his resume. Name me a coach that goes from losing the 1-16 matchup to the next year winning the national championship. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Right now, your sample is 2 coaches.
That's
because
fine.
They've only won 16.
I know.
That's
what I'm saying. But that's pretty good, though.
Mhm.
Is that not a good? We call that an excellent rebound.
Oh yeah.
That's like dumping the girl.
No, it's the ultimate.
That's like dumping the girl who's
that.
6 or a 7, and then you get a nice one night stand with the girl who's like a 10+, and you go,
Oh, hey now.
That's a good one. That is a good one to rock and roll with. I did good on my rebound.
So is it like losing the World Series and then coming back and winning the World Series?
Yeah, but that's not going to happen this year, so it doesn't matter.
I don't think there's any like pro sport.
With the way,
let
me tell you something. With Paul Goldschmidt's back injury already happening, I mean, are we going to go there?
Hold on, the 16 beating the 1 and then the 1 winning it all. Like, what's like the sports equivalent to that?
I don't know if there is a pro sport.
There's not. I mean,
that'd be like you'd have to have like maybe a 71 win division winner in baseball making the World Series or something, or beating the 1 seed in the first round.
It's like a wild card team that just.
I mean, Arizona State was what, the 2 seed in the tournament this year in college football. We all know they weren't the 2 seed, really, right?
They were the 4, and
they were not the 4th best.
Yeah.
They were not the 4th best team in the country, and they almost beat Texas. It's pretty good.
You know what? I have a homework assignment for all the listeners. Drop down in the comments what you think is the sports equivalent for that.
I guess Giants Patriots in Super Bowl, first one
when they won the wild card to advance.
Yeah, you could go that one. You could even say 2001 Arizona Arizona was a really good team, but the Yankees were, remember, a dynasty. I mean, nobody gave the Diamondbacks really a shot.
Yeah,
and then 9/11 happened, and everybody was like, "Now they're really not going to have a chance to beat the Yankees." And Luis Gonzalez getting a hit off Mariano Rivera, Derek Jeter botching a ball in the 9th inning. Nobody had that on their bingo card.
Bill Buckner, first base.
But the Mets are also heavily favored in that World Series. It shouldn't even have been that close.
The Mets weren't the
Angels should have beaten the Red Sox in their series. The closer on the Angels wound up killing himself like 2 years later because he still couldn't get over it.
That's why
the Red Sox shouldn't even have been in that World Series. It should have been the Angels. Go look back and watch. I don't know. I mean, it's maybe the NBA. I mean, I got to go back NBA history. Actually, you know what? No, I could go back baseball history. And it's not being biased, but go look back. 1969, the Mets beating the Orioles. The Mets beating the Orioles. That Orioles team was a juggernaut. Nobody was picking the Mets, and the Mets lost game 1-2. Because nobody was picking the Mets to win that World Series. It was a fluky run.
Similar to year.
Yeah, but it was fun. As a fan, I had fun. The Yankee fans didn't have fun. They were upset. The Met fans had fun because we weren't supposed to be there. We had fun.
Back to this bracket, like we were saying.
Oh, here we go. Buzzkill's in. Anyway, go on.
Unreal. All right. What's one of the teams that's under the radar, Josh, that you think has a lot of momentum heading in, but no one's really talking about because of those 1 seeds and those juggernaut kind of schools?
Well,
I think we both have the same idea of who.
If you're going to say it can't be a high seed.
What do you think?
I mean, I think a team nobody's really talking about I'm not even gonna go by Speedy's bracket. His bracket every freaking year is always all over the place. It's like mad. Like Speedy doesn't even think what he does. He just says, "Let me pick this team," and everything.
Wow. Completely random.
It is completely random. It is completely random. Your Final Four is completely random. Go ahead, Speedy. Say who your Final Four team is.
That is true. Eric does not know my Final Four.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
So
he was doing drugs when he made this.
I made this.
He was on acid.
Acid. All right, Eric. So I do have 1 8 seed in the Final Four.
It's already nuts.
Okay. All right, and which is who?
Gonzaga.
Okay.
Which, by the way, Mark Few couldn't even win a national championship, but he had a really good team.
And they're still a really good team.
They're a pretty good team, and I have in a easy side of the bracket. But yes, go on.
All right. So I have Texas Tech, and I have both Alabama teams, Alabama and Auburn.
Okay.
So hold on. Wait a second. You have Gonzaga beating Houston.
I do.
On Saturday.
I do.
All right. So we'll know by next show if Speedy's bracket is intact or if it just.
Oh, it's gonna blow up by Saturday. He thinks Gonzaga's beating Houston on Saturday.
Yes, I do.
And he said Alabama too.
Alabama takes down both your teams.
Yeah, you're a horrible person. You know that.
Back.
Like, I'm never happy with Wisconsin. Now they're finally pretty decently good. They're actually innovative on offense, which has never happened. And now you're like, they're gonna lose.
Alabama.
Auburn.
Man, I don't care. Wisconsin's top 5 in the country.
Okay.
And Wisconsin's better defensively.
Not a hate on Wisconsin.
It is. And Wisconsin's probably better defensively. Look, Eric, he's
not like I have
Wisconsin
losing to a 14 seed.
Thank God. That's happened before many times.
Josh, Final Four. What do you got?
My Final Four is I have Auburn. No, I'm sorry. I have Michigan State. I pick Speedy knows this about me. I pick Michigan State every freaking year in the Final Four. And every year it blows up in my face. I have Houston. No, sorry. I'm all over the place. I have this bracket is like annoying. Okay, here we go. Michigan State, Tennessee, Duke, and St. John's. It's my Final Four. But St. John's has let me tell you, I was so tempted to pick Florida. Florida's the perfect team. Would you agree? Florida's the perfect team.
They're the perfect randomly hot 1 seed.
That's what it is.
See, I'm kind of a combination of you both. Right? Do I think Auburn's in the Final Four? Yes. Do I think Bama makes it to the Final Four? No. I still think Houston is the team to beat. Basically, because they have a nice run basically to get there, right? Until
if Gonzaga beats Houston on Saturday, Speedy, I swear, if you text me one time, Houston, we have a problem on Saturday, I'm literally like just ignoring the text message.
Speedy, please do that. Do it in the group message so I can see too, please. Also, we have Duke. I think Cooper Flagg gets healthy as the tournament gets going, plays more minutes.
Really quickly, did they ever say what kind of ankle sprain it is?
Sprain.
It is it's a sprain, right? He sprained it. It's a sprain.
Yeah.
But what level grade is it? Do they know? Are they not disclosing that?
I don't think they disclose.
Does John Shire even know what an ankle sprain is? Does John Shire know who's on his team?
I'm going to say yes.
Are you sure?
I'm going to say yes.
Would John Shire win a coaching battle with Greg Gard, though, is the question.
Oh, goodness me.
I'm not answering that one.
The illustrious coaching battle.
We're going to go from possibly Rick Pitino versus John Calipari to Greg Gard versus John Shire for an opportunity in the Big Four, the Final Four.
And I did pick St. John's, yes. I think they coached well. Look what they just did in their tournament. They lit everything up. They're a great defensive team, too. They could really hound the ball.
I think they're the best defensive team in this entire tournament.
And I think that's going to pay dividends for them.
My scary part is with them is the three-point shooting and the free throw shooting. And Patino's acknowledged that, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's acknowledged it in his interviews. He has said, yeah, we know how it's going to be in this tournament because we need to be able to shoot. But he said that our 3-point shooting is – he said the numbers don't tell the real statistic, that he thinks it's better than what the numbers speak for. But Pitino was honest. He did say the free throw shooting is a bit of a concern, but he's going to hope his team –
He's a smart enough coach, though, to work around that.
He's the best. Him and Izzo are the two best coaches in this tournament. Agree or disagree?
Before he's been there. The experience is really going to come in and help St. John's, I think.
I think him and Tom Izzo are the two best coaches in this tournament.
That's fair.
Yeah,
they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
can't argue.
You know, the thing about that's the one thing you're going to get with Pitino is you may not have the talent advantage against certain teams, but what you're going to have is the coaching matchup in every game. Like, can you imagine if the championship is John Shire versus Rick Pitino? Like, do you realize what Rick Pitino, like, that would be like when Sean McVay coached against Belichick in the Super Bowl, and McVay was kissing Belichick's butt before the game even happened. It's an honor to coach against you. It's an honor. It's such an honor. And Belichick was like, yeah. Like, okay, yeah.
See,
I'm literally I'm gonna truck this guy to the next field over. That's like literally what could happen.
Do you not want your coach to kind of have that mindset, though?
I don't want him Belichick, but I don't want Shire, tiddly-wiggling Rick Pitino.
No, you give the flowers, you give a little brief interview, and then it's game on.
Actually, maybe Rick Pitino shouldn't tiddly-wink anything. That's why he's got in trouble in the past. But we shouldn't be in that route. That should be we shouldn't go that route in the first place. But, having said that, but he's taken 6 programs to the tournament. I had this argument with my brother the other day. My brother thinks that Pitino's resume is overblown.
Why?
I don't know how.
Yeah. He says he hasn't won enough, and that one of his national championships got taken away from him. What does that do? And I said he's taken 6 programs to the tournament. He was pretty successful in the NBA. And did we all think St. John's? Well, St. John's was dead as a doornail.
Who had St. John's?
Yeah, him and Mike Rapoli have single-handedly changed the entire program. They got 2 4-star kids coming to the team next year. So this is just – and Pitino's not going anywhere. Like, everybody are like, I know schools are going to try to poach him.
Oh, of course.
But here's the thing. Mike Rapoli could pay him whatever he freaking wants. Like, because here's the thing you could tell Pitino is, okay, you could go to this school, but are they going to give you the same recruiting reinforcements that you need to be successful, whereas we could pay our way anything we want? Because Mike Rapoli's a billionaire, and we can give you anything we want. Okay? So teams are going to try to poach Pitino away from St. John's. And also he likes being in New York. I think he lives in Westchester. Like he was in Iona for so many years. They won that conference every freaking year in Iona. How's Louisville been since he left?
Oof.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Iona didn't even make the tournament this year, right? After they made every year.
No, they should have. They lost in the conference championship to Mount St. Mary's.
And every year they were in the tournament with him coaching. He left. They haven't made it once in the last 2 years.
And Louisville just lost to Creighton.
I mean, to say that he isn't successful because he got a national championship taken away because he hired hookers and everything like that for the kids. I mean, listen, you go to Las Vegas, that's legal. You couldn't do it in Louisville. You can do it in Vegas.
Just congratulations to UNLV.
And they still suck.
wait, we couldn't. Who knows how long?
Yeah, so I'm saying. So for me, it's a matter of, I think him, and again, I've been at this network for years and years now. Speedy knows I put Michigan State in the Final Four. I think every year I've been here.
I know. I think we had him once the same year. I remember that. And then
it's more of a Tom Izzo trust
appreciation
with Izzo. Like, I know they lost to Wisconsin the other day. By the way, clean block by John Tange.
Yes.
And he should just hit one of the free throws. He's a 91% free throw shooter. Another thing that was annoying the crap out of me the other day was 91% free throw shooter. All you have to do is hit one, and the game's over. No, Tanjay says, "Hey, let me miss both of them, and then let's let them have a shot to win the game." And I said, "This is totally Wisconsin. They're going to lose at the buzzer, because they lose to the buzzer more than any team I know." But going back to what I was saying with Tom Izzo and Michigan State, it's they, I agree with Speedy what he said last week. Eric, you weren't here last week when Speedy said Michigan State always plays better when they're an underdog.
They do.
Whereas when they're a favorite, they always lose in like the second round. And it's weird. Or the one year when they lost in the first round.
I had them winning all that year.
Same here.
That's a
weird.
2-seed.
Yep. Was that when they had Denzel?
Yes.
Denzel Valentine on that team. That team
Yep.
was dominant.
Mhm.
They won the Big Ten tournament. And then they went in and they laid a dud. And they lost. As a 2-seed.
A year after they made the Final Four as a 7-seed.
It just doesn't. I don't know. Eric, any thoughts to the whole? Any? What is your Final Four, Eric?
I'm so glad you asked that, Josh, because I kind of said it before, but based on your question, I know I need to say it again. So I kind of took a little bit of both from both of your playbooks there, right? Speedy, you had Auburn.
Don't take any of them Speedies. He has Gonzaga going. Don't take that.
You had Auburn. I agree. I disagree, and I have Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I have Duke, and I have St. John's.
And who do you have winning it?
Oh, are we going into that now?
Hold on. Speed, look at Speedy. He's like rubbing. His name is Speedy. Rubs his hands together and does. He's thinking.
That's it. He's excited.
He wants to get. He's excited. He wants to get into it.
No, I was waiting for Eric to expand on his thoughts.
I was getting there. All right, so listen. I kind of agree. Listen, St. John's.
I'm listening.
Very well coached team. We just said it, right? Pitino, whether the guy he knows the team's weaknesses, he knows how to coach around that. I think that experience is going to help them tremendously. Houston, we touched upon earlier too.
Mm-hmm.
An easier road to get to the Final Four.
Yes.
Duke, Cooper Flag, he's healthy enough. I think he could lead that team very deep. We'll get into that later.
He's the best player in the country, yes.
And same thing with Auburn. Auburn might be the best team top to bottom when they play well together, right? They don't necessarily do it every single game, but you've seen glimpses of Auburn this year, and they just look like they're on a different level, a different tier, right? Some crappy losses, some bad losses, but overall they look like a team that just, when they have it together, they're tough to beat. So that's my 4. Josh, why don't you tell me why I'm wrong?
I'm not gonna say why you're wrong. I mean, it's a very valid Final Four. I think Speedy's is just out of this world, nutsy cuckoo.
Usually one below a 5 seed that makes it.
I understand that, but Speedy, let's call it like it is. Are we really, we're gonna trust who Gonzaga, which has been kind of inconsistent this season, period. You're gonna trust that, yeah, they won their tournament.
They're a top 10 Ken Palm team.
Great. That's great. There you go again with the analytics again. How many quad 1 wins do they have? How many teams have they been in the top 25 this year? Go look those up, Mr. Analysis.
Are they going to beat Wisconsin, Speedy?
They're not even playing Wisconsin. The same bracket they did, Wisconsin would kick their ass.
Just sound like a valid question.
5-5 quad 1 record.
That's not good. So why? What's Houston's?
Now, of course, Houston's going to be better. That's why they're a 1 seed. I'm not saying they're a better overall team. I just think they.
How are the numbers efficiency wise? Offense and defense.
You're acting like I dislike Houston.
No. I don't care that you dislike Houston. I just think you're nuts for picking Gonzaga of all the teams. Mark Field couldn't win a championship when he had a good team.
I didn't say they're going to win a championship. I just said you even said the region was weak. So
the region is weak.
So
but they're going to look. You think they're going in there Saturday and they're going to beat the 1 seed and 1 beat Houston. I'm going to tell you something. If Gonzaga wins that game, telling you this now, McNeese State is going to win that whole side of the bracket.
And I will take that.
Hold on. You know what, Josh? Let's dive into this a little bit, right? Gonzaga wins.
I can't see that much, and I picked them.
I don't either. I'm not.
Yeah, I picked them because that bracket. I hate Houston.
Josh, let's talk through this, right? They win, they play Houston, say they beat Houston, like Speedy says. They move on. Are they going to lose to McNeese or Purdue? Or is that a winnable game?
Purdue stinks.
Purdue stinks. They'll beat Purdue.
We'll say
McNeese State. They will not beat McNeese State.
A winnable game. So then you say they
They're
move
not even
on.
beating Tennessee, Speedy. They're not even better than them.
All right, their offensive rating is 9th. Their defense is 28th.
So then some other potential teams that they would have to go against. Tennessee.
They're 9th overall. They overall in every
Which
factor.
team? Gonzaga?
Do you think they'll beat Tennessee or barring upset Kentucky?
I think they could definitely beat Kentucky.
Oh,
Kentucky's very streaky. I've never been crazy about Kentucky.
Let me tell you something. I wouldn't even be shocked if Kentucky lost in the first round. They're a weird team.
They are.
Are they going to beat a Tennessee team though? If they match up?
No. I have to see how Tennessee plays.
If
that
Tennessee
would be tough.
plays cohesively,
yeah,
as
they are
be,
tough.
then they'll win. Like
If that's
I think honestly, I'm not trying to be funny. Tennessee will blow the doors off of them.
so then
Tennessee
you
is
got a
fast
Final
team.
Four to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. So you're not that far off if they do beat Houston, right? Like their road to get to the Final Four really kind of goes to Tennessee. So is it that far off though, Josh? Right? They miraculously they upset Houston, for instance. Is it that far off that they can get to the Final Four with those teams I just mentioned? Tennessee would be their biggest.
I don't see how they're beating Gonzaga. How they're beating Houston on Saturday.
Right.
That's the only thing. I have a hard time believing that.
If they do, though, the Speedy's bracket makes sense then to you.
Speedy's bracket never makes sense to me. What does it matter?
But I mean,
Brackets that do well don't make sense anyway.
Speedy, right? Take us through. If they beat Houston, their road to get to the Final Four doesn't look too shabby, does it?
No,
of course he's going to say yes. He picked them.
And a lot of it was based on the middle quadrant not being as good.
Speedy, this is also you getting into the whole analytics department thinking that your judgment is by you're not looking at the big picture of how they played against the better top 25 teams in the country. You're not. Like they went 5-5 in quad 1 games?
Yeah.
That's not great.
But this is
they're in a very weak conference. They're what are they in?
Yeah, people have said that for years, and they've still been a stable program. I used to not like them either.
Because they had the dominant players the last few years.
Adam Morrison.
Oh, stop. Oh, God. That's the one you come up with? Oh, jeez. Adam Morrison. God.
Legend.
Yeah, well, not for the best reasons.
But think about it, Josh. I mean, if they could beat Houston, again, a huge if, obviously. Who really scares you after that? Tennessee, I guess?
If they play cohesively, I want to see how Tennessee plays when they play tomorrow.
But see? So all of a sudden it goes from like, yeah, no way, they're not doing it to, okay, I can see it.
Oh, no. Tennessee's in 5 minutes, Speedy, against Wofford.
Oh, yeah, you do have to watch those underhanded free throws. That's right.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Not so far off. And Josh, let's talk about. You said Florida. You think is the best team overall?
Yeah, I just couldn't pick them though.
Complete.
I couldn't pick them because everybody
they're almost too new.
Everybody and their mother is picking them, and it just made me like I can't do this and be like everybody else. Like just because they're trying to screw up along the way.
So we could see a nice match between St. John's and Florida. If that's the case, you think
I will say this: Florida's really, really, really good offensively, but the thing about Florida is they have such a deep amount of depth. Like I think they go 10-man rotation, like Izzo does with Michigan State, which clearly that didn't help against Wisconsin.
That's my big fear for St. John's is Florida, right? Because they have the depth, they've got the shooters, they got good enough defense.
I will say, I think the team that could give Florida a run for their money before St. John's is Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I think Maryland could definitely.
Maryland.
I think Maryland can, although Grand Canyon is no joke.
I know. I'm annoyed they ended up with them.
Yeah.
I think they could have beaten any of the other 4 seeds.
And I want to see how tonight goes with Arkansas and Kansas. I'm very Self against. I mean, Bill Self completely nuked his team in the beginning of the year. Was that this is probably the softest team he's ever coached, and he was like, but we still made the tournament.
They've stumbled.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
They've stumbled in the last 2 years and kind of got lucky last year with that whole foul free throw situation.
Well, you know what the funny thing is that I don't think Calipari is going to be able to recruit how he once did, because Calipari was let's call it like it is. He was throwing the kids money.
He was the one
under the table. Now everybody's doing the same thing as Calipari now. And now Calipari is not going to be able to get. Why do you think Kentucky was like, yeah, you can leave now? You can go. You're right. Was I right or wrong? Did he want to leave, or did they want him out?
No, they've forced him out.
They forced him out.
Yeah.
They had enough because they were like, you won one national championship being here. You haven't done as much as your salary dictates you are. You're one of the highest paid coaches in the country. And you don't know how to coach X's and O's. He's never been able to coach that ever. He's one of the worst in-game coaches you could possibly see.
Hence the reason he hasn't made a Final Four since 2015, losing 2.
Wisconsin Badgers,
That's
Frank
right.
Kaminsky. You know where I was that night? I was at the Rangers Devil, sitting up by the glass. I was with my wife, then girlfriend at the time, wife now. My wife, my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law. And the 4 of us went. And the Raiders were playing the Devils, and they won like 7-0. And it was right up against the glass. I'm like watching Wisconsin on my phone, and I'm like going nuts. I'm like the one idiot in the row that's going nuts because I also had my Wisconsin hat on, and somebody noticed it, and they're like, "What's the score?" And I told them the score, and the guy was like, "Oh my God, they're actually going to beat Kentucky." They should have went to the Final Four the year before, if not for Harrison, who hit the 3. And they would. Speedy, you know this. They would have blown out UConn.
Yes, I agree with that.
They would have blown them out in that game.
I wasn't that high on that UConn team.
They should have beaten Duke.
They
were winning by 12
State
against Duke, and then Grayson Allen decided, hey, let me be this guy for about 30 seconds and hit a bunch of threes. I think I'm Larry Bird.
I missed that. Who'd they lose to?
It was Duke. It wasn't because of anybody on Duke. It was only one guy. Grayson Allen literally Jaleel Okafor had his worst game ever as a collegiate player that game.
But not Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen before he started tripping people.
That, and also the fact that Coach K didn't realize he should use Allen more during the season. Hey, that would have made this a lot easier.
Listen, he's doing it now too, so.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think I love talking about March Madness. So much fun.
You know what else is fun to talk, Josh?
Don't say football.
No, I'm not going to say football.
Thank God.
No, listen, we
You
still got.
know what I need? I need a bye week from the NFL.
No, you know what's fucking fun? How about a series? Baseball is officially happening, Josh. There's games on record for the regular season. Did you see the madness? Did you wake up early to watch those games?
Yeah, I watched them at my job. I watched them in my office on my little TV that I have in my office at work.
Nice. I mean, great. It looked like a great atmosphere. Everyone looked like they had a good time. I got to give kudos to Manfred and baseball for the.
Yeah, it's because America's pastime should be starting in Japan.
No, but you know what? Broadening the horizons for the league itself. Football's doing the same thing. Baseball's doing the same thing. I think basketball is going to follow suit soon too, and do some more of that.
Football's doing the same thing, yeah.
Hockey's
done it
with the worlds, right? With the 4 teams.
But hockey's always done it. They always start usually in like Finland or Sweden or.
That's what I'm saying. The game and the sports itself are going more international, which is huge, as it should. So I like to see that. You know, what are your thoughts? You're not a fan of it?
No, I mean, listen, I'm not big, but I just want to touch base when we talked about the over international stuff. Do you remember when the Rangers faced the Lightning in Sweden that year? Who was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning? Do you remember?
No. I
Barry
don't.
Melrose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
Melrose.
God. Anyway, how do I feel about it? I mean, I think it kind of takes away the pop and sizzle of opening day. My
You
opinion.
kind of get 2 opening days, no? Right? Like that's the opening day officially.
No, opening day
Now
is
opening day.
one day. It is one day. That is it. I don't want to be starting at 4:00 in the morning in Tokyo, okay, to get America's pastime. Okay, I understand there's a lot of Japanese ball players that are playing in MLB. Here's the deal. That's why every few years, what is it that they have for Major League Baseball? What is the tournament that they have?
World Baseball Classic.
Thank you. So that is when you can watch. Here's the thing. If you're a Dodger fan, you're now losing a home game off of your season ticket package. If you're a Cub fan, you're losing a game off your package now because you have to watch these games at 5:00 in the morning. Here's the reality of it. I think it's ridiculous. It's dumb. You want to do an exhibition game? Fine.
You're right. Let's not grow the game. Right.
The game's already been grown.
We don't need to grow the game.
How many Latin
There's no such thing as an international draft. No. We don't need to grow the game.
How many Latin and Japanese
Unreal.
players are there in Major League Baseball right now? The game has grown.
Right. So we don't want
We have our own international signing period now.
Right. But no, let's not grow the game anymore.
I got 16-year-olds making $6 million.
Listen, I wish I could throw an
It's going to be grown. It's grown enough. How about you grow it here in America where the ratings suck? Right or wrong?
That's a start.
Oh, yeah. Everybody gets up at 5:00 in the morning. Hey, let's go watch the game. Cubs Dodgers. You ready to watch it? No, I'm like 98%. I'm like 98% asleep, and I got to go get ready for work.
Speedy, did you get that? It sounds like A, Josh is mad he had to get up early to watch the games, and B,
I'm up early anyway. I don't care about that. I care about the people that actually love the game of baseball that they can't watch it.
And B, he's mad because at 16 he didn't get signed. I'm a little disappointed about that too, Josh. Don't get me wrong.
I mean that one. I'm.
That's what it sounds like.
Listen, I'm annoyed about that. What do you want me to say?
Josh could have had his Whoppers NIL deal.
Yeah, let me tell you, I could have, if I could, and I made a load of money. Imagine if I went to Hershey, and I said to them, "I'll be your spokesperson for Whoppers." Hershey would be like, "Where's the contract? Give one of the biggest athletes in sports wants to sign with us for the Whoppers candy. Give me that contract. Get an endless supply of like bags of Whoppers. Melissa would kill somebody. Like, what the heck is all this crap? What am I gonna do with this?
Where do we put it? What are we doing?
Caleb tried when he hated it, so
I'm not saying he's a smart kid.
no. He hated it. He didn't like it.
You know what, Josh? It sounds like baseball in the Tokyo series really grinded your gears.
Well, listen,
know.
you know what? To me, I don't really care. It's more. It's just. I understand you're trying to grow the game, and that's great, and that's fine. But make it like exhibition games. You're gonna start the regular season a week before the real season starts. It just doesn't. I don't know.
So
I remember in 2000 when the Mets were in it against the Cubs. Here's that the Cubs are always in it.
I remember Yankees against Seattle there too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's nothing new like that, Josh. So you know what? I want to know something new.
But is the game growing here in the States where the biggest market is? Is it growing? It's not. It doesn't do anything.
Listen, it's growing in New York, right? You have Mets have a good team. Yankees have a good team. In the big markets, is it growing?
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's not growing everywhere else where they would want it to. Like Arizona, Texas was the lowest rated World Series in the history of baseball. Like it's not growing. That's the point.
All right, so you know what?
That's it.
Go ahead, Josh. You're on such a roll. You might as well start the "you're better than that" then.
That's right. My I think first what this one is.
Speedy,
I bet there's
keep it
Speedy. Why
up.
don't you go first? Because there's a couple of things I got to think about.
All right, I will go first. Well,
Might be better than that is Josh because he thinks Gonzaga is overrated.
no, no, definitely not. Wisconsin didn't do anything.
Yeah, they won by 20. They won by 19.
If
today,
they won by
right?
2, maybe okay. Maybe.
I mean, can you imagine if they lost today? What
I told you would have invented for the first half hour of the show.
Low key, I was kind of hoping for that just for this.
It was never gonna happen.
No, Montana's one of those like they've been it like 6 times and still never win type teams. They're turning into like the St. Mary's of the whatever conference they're in. All right, so you're better than that. Josh actually kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier. Was because we had the coach on the show a while ago. Is the guy that replaced Rick Pitino at Iona got fired for he still had a winning record, and they made it to the conference championship game. They lost, unfortunately, but they just fired him for whatever reason. I don't know why, but hopefully they could find a better replacement. You're better than that.
Okay. My "you're better than that" is quite simple. Actually, now that I thought about it, it is in regards to the Phoenix Suns and the rumors that Mike Budenholzer is going to be let go at the end of the season because Kevin Durant is not happy.
Oh, yeah.
So here's how I view it. Once again, Mike Budenholzer, former NBA Finals winning coach, who, by the way, since he left Milwaukee, has been a dumpster fire. And this is typical Kevin Durant being a coach killer. The one man that stays standing, Steve Kerr, still standing. Phoenix Suns, you're way better than that because you had a bright future and you screwed it up. I said it. What? I said you're better than that.
All right.
You didn't know if I said you're better than that. What do you want? You
not-
get off my lawn.
When do you not animate it? Let's give a little subtle. Come on, you're better than that. Right, Speedy? That was a little subtle that time, it felt like. No?
It was worth it for the Kevin Durant. Let's see how I could ruin a coach in stealth mode.
I mean, this is why. I mean, it's ridiculous that he constantly gets the right to choose what he wants. He freaking ruined. This Suns team was on pace to be dominant in the Western Conference for years, and they made this stupid trade the Suns for him.
No, you don't think it was the Bradley Beal trade?
Oh, I definitely think it was the Kevin Durant trade. I think that started the whole trend. We're down.
You know what? I'm going to stay in the NBA.
God bless.
Because there was a talk of a coach talking to 2 of his top players, saying, "What do we need to do here? How do we need to get this better? What do you think?" Right? Now, to me, that sounds like that's something that should stay in-house. Should it not? Right? You're talking to your 2 superstars, 2 guys who former face of the league, whatever you want to call it, in Milwaukee there, nonetheless, with Giannis and Dame Lillard. How do you not keep that in-house and try to build the momentum up, have the confidence of, we're going to figure this out, we're going to be okay. And all of a sudden, it leaks out. Are we not surprised that a Doc Rivers team this happened to again? I don't know. But guess what? Come on. You're better than that.
Check out all of our great shows and platforms as well. WorldWideSportsRadio.com, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. Check out all the great shows Tuesday and Thursdays. Right, Speedy? Mondays and Wednesdays. Wow, I got that way off.
You're
Mondays
close.
and Wednesdays, Top of the Mouth at 7:30 now?
Mhm.
Okay, 7:30. Saturdays, Weekend Crunch at 103.9 FM at 7 p.m. with Speedy and Errol. Chris Game On with us Fridays at 6 o'clock. And all other great shows and platforms and episodes and fun things that we love to rant and rave about. Eric, good to see you back this week, my friend. This was a fun show. Great show. Good luck with your bracket.
Thank you. Good luck with walking outside and making sure I'm safe and clean and there's no birds overhead.
That's a valid point. Listen, I was like, maybe you need to get one of those hat umbrella things. Oh, God, you would.
Label it Game On, too.
I could. Any last thoughts before we go?
Last thoughts? I guess I'm rooting for Gonzaga now.
Speedy, any last thoughts on your nonsense? And be serious.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Why is Eric's cheer for Gonzaga not serious?
No.
What? I think it is.
Very serious.
I think he's disappointed and said, let's go Wisconsin. I think that's what it was. If I said Wisconsin, he would have been okay.
I have nothing against Wisconsin.
No. Nobody hates Wisconsin except for Errol.
Errol's random reason for hating Wisconsin.
His reason doesn't even make sense. Wisconsin is known to have like one of the nicest fan bases in the country. He's the only guy I know that hates them. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't think I know anyone else that doesn't like Wisconsin.
Then again, he likes Duke. And where are they? So
Hey, you stop that nonsense.
I know you like Duke too. I'm sorry. You're also
the collection of Duke fans coming in.
Hey, wait a minute. I said go Gonzaga.
That's right.
You gotta say go St. John's.
I did.
Of course.
We gotta say go St. John's.
I agree. Go Johnny's.
Go Johnny's, man. Get through this weekend and don't ruin any fun momentum that they've had, please. I don't know why, but this Omaha game tonight scares me for a little bit. I don't know why. I just don't know why.
Peyton Manning should be in attendance for this game.
Oh, God. That's the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, for Speedy Petey, for Eric Bowe, I'm Josh Silver. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in to us every week. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the madness this weekend. Have a good one. We'll talk to you. This has been Game On Live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Peace.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.